I didn't see you there. So I guess you guys are here because you want to know how to beat a Rathian. The Apex kind. Well, by the end of this video, if you pay attention, you will beat an Apex Rathian. Let's dive into the basics. Rathian is a flying wyvern type monster, with relatively high hit zone values and relatively low stagger thresholds. She takes tons of dragon damage, especially to the head, so we want to use that to our advantage. She has pretty standard stun duration at 10 seconds, a standard stun threshold, and a pretty standard stun buildup. Paralyzed, though, is only going to last 7 seconds instead of the standard 10. It's going to take forever to get there, and then after you get there once, you're pretty much not going to get there a second time, so keep that in mind. Other ailments like blast and poison are not really effective here, so we're not really going to talk about them. Just like with any monster you're struggling on, go get some spear birds. No, seriously, go get them. Just do it. They're going to make you live longer and maybe hit harder too. After getting those juicy spear birds, it's time to beat the Rathian. Apex Rathian will always start with an opening roar. After taking damage or sighting the hunter, she'll take 2 steps back and rear her head up. After a slight pause, she'll raise her left leg, take 1 step forward, and bring her head forward and down. When her left leg touches the ground, she's gonna roar. There's other indicators like her wings, but her foot placement is the one that I use. It's good practice to position yourself in a place where you can either counter her roar while standing right next to her head, or stand far enough away from her head to roll into it when she does roar. Either way, you can be sure to get some free hits in, if you do it right. Eventually, after dealing some damage to Rathian, she'll Apex Roar. Rathian's Apex Roar is a little different from a regular roar, where this time she's going to take way bigger steps backwards, and then she'll rear up. Instead of bringing her head down and forward like she did last time, she's going to take a small step with her left leg, and then launch her head forward and upwards. For this animation, I use her head movement. As soon as she thrusts her head forwards, that's when you dodge. Where you should be dodging to or standing depends fairly heavily on your weapon, so I'll leave this one up to interpretation. Rathian will also perform what I call a false roar, where she'll raise her right leg instead of her left leg. This roar won't interrupt any moves though, so it's just a free damage animation. Just be mindful about it so that you don't get tripped up and think that it's a real roar. She'll perform these roars at certain intervals throughout the fight, so just be ready for them at any time, really. Now that we know how to deal with her roars, let's move on to her moveset. Rathian does lots of ground-based attacks and a couple of aerial attacks, and they all have a few different variations to them depending on whether or not Rathian's enraged. Let's go over her bites first, starting with her charge bite. So for her charge bite, she's going to take 2 steps forward, and then she's going to strike from her right to her left. Many people are going to dodge reactively when they see her start taking steps forward like she's charging. But if you do that, you're going to get hit from the actual bite. So you definitely need to delay where you're dodging. She also has a double bite. This one's pretty easy to read. She's going to turn her neck in the direction that she makes the first bite. Once she makes that first bite, she's going to take a slight pause and then pretty much just bite straight forward with a little lunge. The first attack almost never hits, and then the second one, as long as you dodge to the opposite direction that she did the first one, you'll be fine. Apex Rathian has the same triple charge animation as the standard Rathian. After looking at the hunter, she'll charge with her entire body past the hunter, turn, charge again, and then turn one more time, charge a final time. Apex Rathian has the standard triple fireball that regular Rathian's been throwing at you since 4-star or 5-star, wherever the heck she is, so you're pretty used to this one. She's going to shoot a fireball straight forwards, then she'll shoot one to her right, then she'll shoot one to her left. The key is to stand in between the blasts or to the side of her head. The super fireball can be a bit tricky. She'll take 2 steps backwards to create some space, and then after a short charge, she'll shoot a fireball directly forwards. This fireball is going to create a large series of explosions in the area around it. It's best to position yourself really closely to the monster during this time. It's key to note that if Rathian's not enraged, the fireball's not going to explode in a series of explosions like it would if she is enraged. Of course, Apex Rathian has the same half-spin boring tail whip that regular Rathian has. The only difference is she's only going to spin one half of the way around. She won't do 2 spins in a row. This one's super boring. I don't know why I'm even covering it. The tail swipe is generally triggered when the hunter is standing behind the monster, but not always. Rathian will wag her tail while she's looking back at the hunter, and then she will swipe her tail around, leaving a poison spike at the end of the path. For the empowered tail whip, Rathian will rear her head up to one side, either her right or her left. After a short pause, she'll unleash a fire breath explosion on the ground in a short area around her, and follow up this combo with a poisonous tail swipe in the direction her momentum is taking her. But, of course, if she's not mad, there won't be any big boom booms. Yeah, we know. She has the single tail flip. Apex Rathian has a single tail flip that can come in 3 variations. Off-axis left, off-axis right, and the center flip. As Rathian begins the animation, she may favor one side more than the other. If she does this, her tail whip's going to be coming from the opposite side. If she doesn't favor any side, it's just going to be a center tail flip. The real challenge for most players comes from the Mac Daddy of all her moves, the triple tail flip. Everybody cards off the triple tail flip. She's going to flip off-axis in one direction, then she'll flip off-axis in the opposite direction. She's going to pause, and then she'll roar. Everybody thinks that this is the end. She's going to land. She doesn't. After she pauses and roars, she repositions, and then she's going to do a final center flip. To dodge this attack is to dodge to the right, then dodge to the left, then dodge any direction on her final flip. And now, that brings us to our final attack, the landing tail whip. This move's super easy to dodge. If you just run forward and left, diagonally forward and left, and then roll, you'll dodge it 100% of the time, and the head will be right there. Look at it. It's right there. See? Right there. So easy. Alright, bonus section. We made it. Bonuses. There's some bonuses here. There's a lot of bonus info. Hope you're ready for the bonuses, because here they come. It's bonus time. Yeah. Focusing damage on Rathian's head, legs, or tail is going to knock her down. I'm sure most of you guys knew that, but did you know that if you focus the damage on her head when she's in the air, you can dunk her out of mid-air? With enough practice, it's possible to nearly trip-lock Rathian by alternating between damaging her legs and damaging her head. This is even easier if you use a weapon that can do impact damage, like a hammer or the bow. Severing Rathian's tail will inhibit her ability to leave poison spikes on the ground. She can still poison you with tail flips though, so I don't really get that, but just be aware it's a thing. Finally, remember, it's okay to cart. It's all a learning process, so don't be too hard on yourself. Practice, practice, practice. All these videos you see on YouTube are people who have practiced thousands and thousands of hours. So, just keep that in mind when you're playing. And finally, as the video comes to a close, I put a lot of effort into this video, so if it helped you, please help me by hitting that like and subscribe button. And as always, happy hunting, guys. Please help me. Just help me. Please do it. Fuck my life. Shit on a biscuit and give it to me so I can eat it and die. This is so hard.